In the studio today, we're talking about the benefits of turmeric with naturopath Lynette Hill and making a kick-ass turmeric latte that you will adore. Plus, we've got our resident insurance expert, Katie English, discussing your money-making machine. Want to know how much you're worth? Then you better keep watching here at Easy Living with Monique Bradley. Well, we're live from the kitchen right now with a whole bunch of things going on. And we are really excited to have you guys with us. It is a bumper morning already. And today's topic, opening the show from the kitchen, is all about letting food be thy medicine. No mai, haere mai, I'm Monique Bradley. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm here with Lynette Hill, naturopath. Good to have you on board. How are you feeling?
Good. It's really nice to be here in the daytime.
It is. Normally we're together every Monday night with your show, Health Bites, and that's been going great guns, hasn't it?
Oh, fantastic.
Has there been a lot of interest in people with wanting to know more about their health?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. People obviously wanting to do what they can do in the kitchen, like this. And a lot of people not realising that they had other options. So they've been to the doctor and they've, you know, they're fine, but they've still got their symptoms.
Yes.
And so they're coming and going, so you can actually do something to help me. So that's been cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Now, we are live today, so everything that is going to happen, like you've just probably heard some extra sound going on from my computer, everything that can happen will possibly happen today. But feel free to message in and say hi because we love hearing from you. And I'm going to show you right now my guilty pleasure. So it is Let Food Be Thy Medicine here today at Easy Living with Monique Bradley, and today I am making a turmeric latte that will transform your life. So normally, Lynette, at least once or twice a week, I walk my way down to Ponsonby. I'm just going to tip out my almonds there. I walk my way down to Ponsonby and I head down to Raw Kitchen. Have you been there?
I haven't been there. I have no time.
So good. And there's a number of places like Raw Kitchen that they make turmeric latte. And it is a really, really cool recipe. And there's lots of health benefits to turmeric, right?
Oh, so many. I mean, mainly the one we all know about is that it's anti-inflammatory, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So true. So I thought today I'm going to give it a go and see if I can make my own turmeric latte, because sometimes, depending on the cafe you go to, that can be quite pricey. But you are paying for good quality ingredients and you're paying for the barista's time and, you know, washing the dishes and things like that. But my thoughts are...
She's got me to wash the dishes.
I know, right? My thoughts are not everybody has the time to head to their local cafe and not everybody has the budget for it. So these are the ingredients you need. I call it Monique's Too Lazy to Put Pants on Turmeric Latte. And the reason I call it that is sometimes I just want to make it from the comfort of my own home wearing pajamas.
Oh, thank goodness.
There you go. So that's qualified there. All you need is some almond milk, which I'm going to show you how to make really quickly now. You need some turmeric, cinnamon. I'm adding in some ginger today. You can sweeten it with honey or maple syrup or even some stevia. I'm using medjool dates today. You can use a little bit of vanilla in there if you like. And I am adding in some black pepper, which you might think, oh, is that going to work for health? I'm not sure about that. But trust me, it's amazing. So first of all, almonds.
Can I just say something?
Please.
This is so good to see because almond milk, if you buy it sort of from the supermarket, it's loaded with sugar.
Yes.
So for you with your, you know, trying to avoid carbs, that's not a good thing. So this is fantastic. And I'd say a lot less expensive too.
It is. So a cup of almonds makes me a litre of almond milk. So I did the testing. So yeah, it's pretty cost effective.
And you've soaked those, which is really important.
I certainly have. Yeah, I pre-soaked them because you want to activate the nuts and that's what soaking does, right?
That's right.
Cool. So I've seen a bunch of people talking about almond milk on social media and I thought, I like giving things a whirl. I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I want to try everything. So I thought, can I do it? Then I learned all you need to do is grab your almonds, put in a cup of water, soak them, or soak them overnight. Then you're going to put them in the blender. And that's pretty much it.
And you didn't even peel them?
No, not at all.
Good.
Not at all, because I know there's a lot of nutrients in the skin as well, is that right?
That's right.
So these are raw almonds, they're not blanched, I don't want them treated. And what I noticed is that with some of the almond milks, you're exactly right, they've got additives in them or they've got additional sugars, and because I'm living a low carb life now, I can't have those extra sugars in there. Now I'm actually, no, it's all good. You don't even need to hold it.
I do need to hold it.
Oh, you do?
I can't bear it spilling.
There we go. So I'm pouring all that out, and all I'm going to do, there we go. Now in the bottom, in the bottom here, you've got all this extra sort of nuggety bits of almond which are ground. Now, I actually put those on a baking tray on a low heat in the oven, and I dried those out and created my own almond meal as well.
Oh,
I know,
so
I'm a domestic goddess. But in this instance, sorry to say, I'm going to tip it all out.
Oh, waste.
No, it's all right. I'm just washing it out, and I'm going to drain it and use it again later.
Good girl.
So when I did this recipe in my kitchen, just to show you, here's my almond meal that I dried up. So I can use that to make low carb bread, which is basically bound together using mozzarella cheese and cream cheese. So it is quite high in fat, but definitely low carb. So it's a very coarse almond meal, but a really good byproduct. So there you go, two kind of deals there for the price of one.
Winner.
I know, right?
And you could grind that more if you wanted it to be more of a flour or a powder.
Definitely. So here we go. I'm just going to squeeze out the last of that.
This is really great if you're looking for a dairy-free alternative for children, and you're wanting to try some alternatives that are not soy or goat or dairy. Almond is totally fantastic. It's loaded with oils, and it's also loaded with calcium. So if you are sort of worrying about the calcium intake in your children's diet, almond milk, didn't realise it was that easy to make.
I know, good eh?
And then that can go in everything.
Well, you can actually make a low carb, like a granola, using this once you dry it out. So it is a really good multi-purpose product. And I just love the fact that it's so simple. So again, I'm going to save all that. I'm going to soak that there.
I'm going to make sure you do.
I'm going to put that in there, and we'll use that later. Right, so we've got a nice cup of almond milk, and that's all you really need for possibly a 1 to 2 serving, depending on how greedy you are, because this is a delicious recipe. I'm just going to wipe up my bench with my beautiful new tea towel there. And look, it really is this simple. A pot.
That's so easy.
Almond milk. I'm not even kidding. It is this simple. What I've done is I've pre-soaked a couple of dates in there as well. I'm going to tip out a little bit of the water. But you've got some sweetness in that water as well, so you want to actually add that all in. Right, so yes, they are still whole. Okay, cinnamon.
No pips in there?
No pips.
Oh, good.
Yep, cinnamon, which is one of my favourite ingredients. Now, my dad was actually a naturopath and a homeopath, and he used to do things like add cinnamon or cayenne pepper into his socks to help his circulation.
Yes.
I think that's really good.
You can even pop them into coconut oil, and it will actually heat you up, and it will get your blood going around your body.
Oh, we
like that. It's a really old-fashioned thing, but old-fashioned things are good
Sometimes
things.
work, yeah, they do, don't they?
It does work.
Okay, so we've got some cinnamon in there. Put that away. Ginger.
I'm being so helpful, aren't I?
I know, you've been great. No, you've got all the knowledge. I love this. This is ginger. Ground ginger. Ginger's great for everything, right?
Yes, and particularly for the gut. Really, really soothing, and it's warming.
Excellent.
Good in the winter.
Okay.
I like that you're using spices too.
Thank you.
You don't always have to go for the root and the expensive.
Well, you can, but I try to do everything as much as I can on a really cost-effective budget. So instead of paying $5 or $6 at a cafe for a turmeric latte, this will cost me around 80 cents to $1.
That's
so
fantastic.
It's a really it's a really good option. And at the moment, the ground spices that you can get from the supermarket, I think it was $2 a box, and that will last forever. Though I will say fresh is best. So that's your turmeric there.
And this is good because in clinic, I ask people to have turmeric in milk at bedtime when they have a lot of pain. So if they're arthritic or they've got injury. And it always seems a bit gross to them, but now that it's becoming trendy, and we can have it like for our morning cup of tea, I might actually encourage a few more people to do this.
Oh, and this is a great recipe, and you saw how hard that was, didn't you?
The properties in there for for looking after inflammation and soothing the gut. It's going to help your liver. It pretty much does everything.
It certainly does.
But I've always had it in a whole milk base because you need that fat to carry some of those spices.
That's true, but you've said that almond milk has some fats in there too.
It does have some fats in there.
And if you do want to get more absorption from it, you can actually add in a half a teaspoon of coconut oil. There you go. Oh, the other thing I was going to add is a little bit of pepper. Now, it smells great already, right?
It does. It smells lovely.
So we're putting in some ground pepper. So there's a lot of heat in this. And it seems counterintuitive to me that adding heat, especially if you've got gut inflammation, how does that work?
Well, pepper actually helps all of our blood vessels to open up, so it gets the blood circulating better. So what was the question?
Okay, we're adding a lot of heat. We've got ginger, we've got pepper, we've got cinnamon, we've got turmeric, black pepper.
So if we've got more blood circulation, we've got more oxygen getting around the body. So that's one of the benefits of pepper.
Okay, I'm going to put that straight onto a hot element, and I'm actually just going to let that simmer. So that'll take a minute or two. Now, the reason why I really wanted to do this today, aside from the fact that turmeric is really, really popular, as are turmeric lattes, but we have talked at great length about the health benefits of something like turmeric. And in fact, I had a question come in this week from a beautiful woman in the South Island who saw that we were doing this as our topic this week. And I've got the question here. I'll just bring this up right now. She said, hello, it's Amber here. Just wondering if when you interview the naturopath lady, Lynette, could you ask her which turmeric supplement is best or the purest product? I'm more so interested for the effect that curcumin, I hope I said that right, has on dopamine levels to encourage memory retrieval, but only if you have time. Thanks, Amber. I mean, a great question, Amber. So let's address the first bit. So, the turmeric supplement. What is the best supplement that you can get?
Okay, Amber, that's a curly one. The best supplements, I believe, are practitioner range. So as a naturopath, we purchase really good quality products, and they're normally activated. So that means that we've taken the raw product and they've activated it and separated out the curcuminoids, which are the active component of turmeric. So you're only getting the best product, and you're getting what you need to be therapeutic. I can't name any brands here. There are some really lovely mid-range brands that a lot of health stores have, and most health stores have a naturopath in-house, so they can give you good advice. At the very least, packaged is okay and fresh is great. But if you can get in touch with a naturopath and say, look, this is what I'm looking for, what do you recommend? And they'll give you information, but it has to be face-to-face or on the phone for ethics.
So Amber, you can also contact Lynette directly, check her out on myremedy.co.nz. You can actually do a Skype call with her, because I know you're in the South Island, but if you have a chat to Lynette over Skype, she may be able to give you a clearer idea of what products she personally would recommend, if that helps you.
And
now,
the dose.
And the dose, that's
really
right.
Important.
Now, she said she's interested in the effect that curcumin has on dopamine levels to encourage memory retrieval. Is that possible? Wow.
Yes, well, anything is possible. So there's a lot of new research, well, you know, in the last few years, so it's not really that new. But in clinic, we're using curcumin, turmeric, and saffron for mood and cognition. So, you know, thinking and feeling. And, you know, it's an anti-inflammatory action, which means it's working on modulating or increasing or decreasing the amount of what are called cytokines. These are little proteins that turn receptors like dopamine and serotonin receptors on and off.
Wow.
So it's inflammation is the big trigger for autoimmune conditions, for weight, for degeneration of tissues. So basically what we're saying is we're putting something in that can prevent inflammation that causes all these problems. So that's where curcumin is just so widespread. And there is a product that I use a lot in clinic, and it has turmeric and saffron, and we're just seeing such uplift in mood and cognition. Our patients are really reporting good stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just food. Let food be thy medicine. It's really important.
So just had to test that to make sure it wasn't too hot, because now we've got all of that.
I'm so nervous.
I know, right? Don't be. It's
so
all okay.
yellow.
It is really yellow. But I'll tell you what, it's tasty as. That's the most important thing. And you see, it took me all of just a couple of minutes to kind of blend through. Now, as it smells great,
yeah, it smells
as you
lovely.
leave it, the longer you actually leave it simmering, so you can leave it simmering for around 15 minutes, the more intense the flavours will become. That's what I've noticed. And also, a little bit more of the sweetness from the dates will come out too. So it's pretty amazing. Now, if it's not sweet enough for you, you can add in maybe a stevia tablet, or we've been talking with our next guest before the show about yacon syrup, which is something is really new to me, but something I'm really keen to explore. You can maybe add a little bit of maple syrup.
cactus?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Really, really, really sweet.
But it doesn't mess with your glycemic levels, I believe.
It doesn't usually, but if there's a body memory to sugar, you can still get a reaction just from your brain going, that's really sweet.
Oh.
So as a naturopath, I would be saying, try and peg back the sweet. You know, just put a little bit less sweetness in everything you do so that you don't have such a desire for sugar. And the more savoury we get, the better it is.
I like that. So by blending it through, I'm blending up those dates, so you'll get these little pops of lollies, basically. And what actually happens when you blend it up is it becomes really creamy. Oh, there we go. It's just exploded.
I'm so glad I didn't wear white today.
Oh, I know, right? Joys of working in a live kitchen. Oh,
it smells amazing.
It does, eh?
You should have smell-o-vision.
It smells quite carroty.
Yum.
Yeah, I know,
I'm actually not that scared anymore.
Okay,
just a little bit scared.
Just a little bit scared. So in India, I believe it's an Ayurvedic medicine recipe, and it's called golden milk.
Ah, yes. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, right. So we've got a little bit of dates in the bottom. I made such a mess this morning.
You have been very
Ray
lucky.
McVinney would be disappointed in me.
Sorry, Ray.
He'd tell me to step away from the bench. I'm going to put some of the date bits in the bottom there. And the longer you blend it, the thicker it becomes. And the more the dates will be blended up smaller and beautiful and delicious. Now, I thought I'd made, I'm just going to grab the cloth under here. I thought
that's
I'd
what I
made
was
enough
looking
for
for.
2 nice big cups, but no, I was lying to myself.
Well, a cup of almond milk doesn't turn into 2 cups
No, I
of
know,
latte.
I know. I was dreaming. Tell her she's dreaming.
You're
But there you
dreaming.
go. I thought it's a good tasting sample. There you go, nice and beautiful and golden. Are you brave enough to try it?
I am.
Okay, here we go. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. That's actually nice.
It is, isn't it?
I was so worried about that.
I was scared you were going to say, oh, Monique, that tastes disgusting.
Well, the thing is, hand on heart, I have asked so many of my patients to drink something like this, and they're all like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's lovely, just do it, it'd be so good for you. And I haven't actually done it myself because I'm like, ugh. So
it's really good.
It's really lovely.
The one thing I have to warn you, though, is at first when you drink it, your teeth might go yellow and your tongue might go yellow. So make sure once you've had one, have a glass of water and wash all that residue away, because if you're going into a meeting, it can be a little embarrassing. It's quite nice,
That's really good. That's really warm and
it is
soothing.
lovely. And the flavour's not too intense. It's quite subtle. You get this after kick of that gingery spice.
And the cinnamon. That's lovely. Oh, warning about cinnamon.
Yes.
We've done quite a few shows on gut health and bloating and IBS. And anyone who's got a really bloated gut is going to have a wee bit of aggression from too much cinnamon, because it's just a really hard, scratchy spice. So this is not so bad because it's caught up in the fats and everything. But if you're just sprinkling cinnamon on things, that can actually be quite aggravating. So just
good to know.
Go easy on the cinnamon.
So if you have any other questions about any of the health benefits before we finish up today's show, send them in into the news feed. I haven't been able to check the news feed yet because my computer's over the other side of the bench. So I'm going to check that really shortly so that before we finish up today, you will have your questions answered, because you've got all access pass, almost. I have to be careful of what I say, and all access pass to Lynette's knowledge. Well, Lynette, thank you for coming into the kitchen, and thanks for explaining why this is such a good drink to have. Move over chai latte, get rid of those lattes, those long blacks. This is the drink you need, and you can make it at home.
I will be having one.
Excellent, thank you. Well, thank you so much. All right, we've got a video coming up. Today's inspiration comes from my lovely, beautiful friend. Her name is Helen Thompson Carter. She's a heart attack survivor, and she is a truly amazing woman who has a really great piece of wisdom to share with you. So let's take a look at her video right now.
Hi, I'm Helen Thompson Carter. I'm a business owner, I'm a wife, a mother, a neighbour, and a whole lot of other things. And I'm also a heart attack survivor. I've been on an incredible journey in the last 15 years, and my heart attack was a real wake-up. Not a wake-up necessarily to change a whole lot of things about my life, but it was a wake-up call to actually just get up and do the things that I really wanted to do. I've always wanted to have my own business, and I have, and I've dibbled and dabbled in all sorts of things. But in 2014, I got really, really brave. And when I say brave, I mean brave. At 50, I mortgaged the house, and I launched Fabulevu, a beautiful, fine designer boutique jewellery brand based here in New Zealand. We now sell across the globe. We have more than 100 retailers in New Zealand, and not necessarily doing everything right or necessarily doing everything wrong, but we're on a massive learning curve. And to all you incredible women out there, you are incredible and you can do anything that you want to do, but you have to make it happen. I read this really cool thing the other day, and it said there are only two things in life that actually matter. One is reasons and the other is results. But actually, there is only one thing out of those two things, and that is results. So, if you're out there and you're thinking, what will I do? What's my life all about? Make the most of every day. Don't go to bed tonight thinking, I should have done that. Just get up and do it. It's a little bit soppy, but that saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. Just embrace the fear. Take a step back, have a look around and start your journey. You can do it. You can do it. I did. You can.
Well, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Monique Bradley. Welcome to the Your Fix TV studio. It's an exciting day. Thank you to everybody who's messaged in so far. I'll be able to address your comments very shortly after this amazing interview. So keep watching and keep sending in your questions and your comments. This is a great segment coming up. It's called Your Money Making Machine with the amazing lady sitting here beside me. This is Katie English. Kia ora, Katie. You're our resident insurance expert.
Lovely to be here again.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here. I had so many questions from people from our last segment about, is insurance a scam? It's been a really big topic of conversation. There are lots of angry people out there who feel like they've been ripped off with their insurance. But today we're talking about something which is quite different, which is your money-making machine. And that really intrigues me. So first of all, people who feel like they've been scammed by insurance, what message would you have for them?
I think the best thing, if you feel that way, is to contact your broker, or you can always go on to my Facebook page and my website and make a comment, ask a question, and I'll certainly be happy to get back to you.
Yes, and the one piece of feedback that came back to me from our last interview was how you seemed like the sort of person who will actually go into fight for your clients. Is that what you've done?
Absolutely. There's no point in working with somebody who's not going to be totally 100% on your side and going to get you the very best result if you need to make a claim.
Love it. Thank you, Katie. So I thought I'd address that really quickly for you guys because it's been a really interesting topic. So your money-making machine, what are we talking about today? Is this a machine that prints dollars over and over again for us?
Don't we wish? It's a bit like the money tree in the back garden.
I know. I wish I had one. So what is this topic all about? Because it really is intriguing me.
I think it's always important to have a conversation with people around, what are you worth? What's your value? And oftentimes when I sit with people and I say to them, what do you think your greatest asset is? The first thing that pops out of their mouth is, oh, my house, my home, my property.
Wow.
And I have to ask the question, what about you? How much are you worth?
That's such a big question, actually, because when you ask that question, I don't have really any assets aside from camera equipment, lighting gear. I don't own a house. I mean, who can in the property market at the moment, let's be honest. But for me, my greatest asset is my personality and my voice. That's what people remember about me.
It's your worth, it's your value, it's you, it's what you achieve in your lifetime, how you get to where you are and how you proceed through your life towards that golden age of retirement. And one of the things that people don't take into consideration, when I say, what are you worth? Often it'll be, I earn $80,000 a year. So they sort of fundamentally think that my value is $80,000. But I was doing some sums before we came on,
Yes.
just so that I could give you some ideas. I worked with a client and I asked him that question, what are you worth? What's your value? He was married, he had 2 young children, so his value was his value to his family. Okay? And, sort of the husband, oftentimes if you've got young children, the mother's at home still, and so he's critical to the money-making exercise of the family. So what we talk about is, okay, $80,000 a year. If you're 35 now and you're going to work to retirement, as we say, at 65, and then you say, if we don't take into account that over that 30 years' time, you don't have any increase in your income, today your value is $2.5 million.
Wow.
So when I was working with this client previously and I asked him this question, I said, what are you worth? He was earning $165,000 a year. He was 36. And we worked out that his worth, his value, was not very far short of $5 million. Okay. So
Speechless.
money-making machine is in effect what you are, who you are, what you do. When we go to school, we come out, we get a degree, we get a qualification, we might go and do an apprenticeship, whatever it might be, and we go out and we do, sort of the work, the job, whatever it is that we're passionate about. You're passionate about show business, about
media,
broadcasting, all of those kinds of things. I'm passionate about insurance. Lynette, who was on just a moment ago, is absolutely passionate about health. It absolutely breathes out of her pores.
I know, right?
Yeah, totally. So we aren't there by accident. But it is an accident that can stop your money-making machine from working.
Wow.
So we need to look at what that value is. What's the worth? What are you worth? What's your value? Work it out. It's simple. How much are you earning per annum? How many years till retirement? There you go. And that will give you your value and your worth. Your value to your children, to your family, your value to you, to who you are, to where you are today in life. And that money machine is going to keep churning out as long as you're fit, healthy, able to work. But if something happens to put a chink in or to cog up the works,
Like an accident,
an illness, any of those kinds of things, it's going to stop that money machine working. So it's really important for people to understand their value, what they're worth, and then to consider all of the other aspects around that to say, if something happened, how's that money machine going to keep generating what I need to pay my mortgage, to pay my bills, to look after my family, etc.
That's mind-blowing. I've never considered that.
Most people don't. I ask the question, and honestly, 9 times out of 10, people just give me a blank look, or they'll say, $80,000 a year, or whatever their income may be. And that's where they see their worth. I find very few people actually address that and go, okay, what am I worth? And then when they work it out, much like you just did, it's like, whoa, I never considered that. So you imagine if you're 20 or 25 and you're just starting out in your career and you've got 40 years plus ahead of you, how much are you worth?
Wow. I've never, and especially when you've got kids or a partner in the mix as well, and you've got more responsibility if you're the primary income earner as well, so much more responsibility. So when it comes to that cog being in the works, what is the best way to ensure that the money machine keeps on going?
That's individual. There are so many diverse things you can do. But in the industry that I'm in, obviously we look at a number of things. We look at what is it that you do. So if you're a builder who's climbing a ladder and you're doing roofing and you're doing all of those kinds of things on a regular basis, it's a little bit different. Your risk is probably higher to somebody who's an IT guru sitting at a computer at a desk. So we look and we measure and we weigh up all of these kinds of different sort of things that would impact upon somebody's work, somebody's ability to work. And if somebody is completely disabled. And when we say disabled, we don't mean in a wheelchair. It's disabled and able to do the job that you are doing today and that you are educated and experienced in doing. So, for example, somebody may be a manual worker, but if they have an accident or they get sick or something happens to prevent them from being able to do that job,
yes,
they could still work in a call centre, do work online. They could be at a reception desk. So it's looking at how do we protect the value that you have, because at the end of the day, everybody lives a lifestyle to their income and what they earn. So whether that's been paying rent, whether it's mortgage, and people, sort of they go on holiday, buy nice cars, clothes, turmeric lattes on the way to work.
I know, right? Make your own.
All of those kinds of things. So, a cog in the works can really impact upon a lifestyle, a family, and a future. And it can really impact on that money-making machine.
So I'm going to do a quick shout-out now. I can see there's a whole bunch of you on the news feed right now. I'm just checking my computer. Great to see you all here this morning. Question for you guys. Do you know your own value? If where you sit right now, what is your age? And then have a look at your annual income and then calculate that up until retirement. And that will give you an idea right now of how much you're worth. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe all lives are, what's the word? There's no price on life.
Totally.
But when it comes to your income and supporting your family, that's something you really need to know now. And if you don't have a safety net, I guess, in place, because we all know how crazy life can be and we never know quite what's going to happen. It's really, really important to preempt that, to always have that safety net or that backup plan. Is that right?
Yes. It's really important from a perspective that if life stops, somebody gets very sick, has an accident, is not able to continue to work for a period of time, that can mean financial death. It can mean can't pay the bills, can't get the mortgage. I remember a few years ago a story on the radio about a man, and I think he was in South Island, who got sick. He had a wife. They actually I believe, were renting a property and a young child. He got sick and he ended up in hospital and they didn't know what was wrong with him. Eventually diagnosed meningitis. He was in a coma. When he came out of that coma, he was paralysed from the waist down and he was blind. So he was no longer able to do the job that he did up until that point. So for them, because they didn't have any insurance in place, they had no protection in place whatsoever, it was financial death. So they ended up having to do two things. The wife had to leave her job to look after her husband, and they moved back in with one of their parents because they didn't have an income, lifestyle had stopped. And that's my job, is to make sure that if something like that happens to somebody, that it doesn't mean financial death, and we can protect the best way to understand and to help you to keep living the life that you're used to. It doesn't mean sort of the fancy meals out and all of those kinds of things, but it means being able to continue your life, paying your bills,
roof over your head,
having the roof over your head, being able to go to the supermarket every week, and all of those kinds of things. They are the fundamentals of life. And if you haven't got access to income, the fundamentals of life can be very hard to achieve.
Wow, a big message right there. I know Lynette Hill, who was our first guest in the show today, one of the reasons she actually changed her career and moved into natural medicine, she's actually a cancer survivor. And that really fueled her passion for natural medicine and for wellness. And she disclosed to me that during, she was grateful to have an insurance buffer in place going through her cancer treatment. I know in my experience, when I was 18 months old, my father, who was a painter and paper hanger and a musician and a music teacher, he went blind. And all of a sudden we had no income. And while I don't remember that time, I do remember that sitting next to my mum on the floor, and I would have been about 3, and she was cutting up clothes to make blankets for our bed, our beds in the house. That's a hard life to live. And I personally don't want people to go through that. So what would you recommend? Are people best to chat with you, to go to your website and start initiate that conversation and talk with you about their worth?
Absolutely. It's literally a conversation. It starts with a conversation. Where are you today? And how do we manage the process if something goes wrong? In life, family is important, and we don't get where we are today by accident. We've worked to get here. And we all sort of seem to go day by day by day. There's very much a she'll be all right mental attitude in New Zealand. And I talk to people quite often who say, oh, it's never going to happen to me. I'm too young. I don't know anybody who's ever been sick. Well, statistics back up everything I'm saying that are in our industry. And as I've said before, insurance advisors are full of statistics. Ask me anything and I'll give you a quote. But seriously, to make sure that somebody can survive those traumatic events, it's really important to have a plan in place. And I work with my clients to ensure they have a plan that will work for them at claim time, but not just into claim time. Because, you know, that golden hue on the horizon that has the word retirement through it.
Oh, yes.
We all look towards that and it's going to be this magic thing that happens. But it isn't a magic thing that happens, because you can get there and realise, oh, heck, my money-making machine has just stopped. So it's making sure that we work through all of that to ensure that your lifestyle doesn't change to a degree, and that you can still afford all the essentials of life.
Wow. So it's more than just insurance. It's about financial planning. It's knowing what your outcomes are. It's, as Stephen Covey would say, starting with the end in mind, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. That's
having
really
a plan
cool.
and working towards that plan, knowing where you're going. Most people, you know, when I sit in front of somebody for the first time and ask them, do you have any financial goals? You know, I might get an answer like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to buy a new car this year. But that's not a financial goal.
That's a debt.
That's just, I want to buy something new. It's not a plan to get somewhere. So I really encourage people to sit down and I help them to put those plans in place.
Excellent.
And to then protect that plan, protect that money-making machine.
Oh, we love that. So the answer to, is there an actual money-making printing machine? No, but you need to know your wealth, know your value, and then prepare for, you know, in the event that something might happen, you've got a backup plan that could support you through that. Now, interesting, a couple of comments have come through. Rachel Thompson said, income calculators are so useful. Knowing the value of that asset is huge. Yeah. Totally agree?
Totally agree.
Love it. Thanks, Rachel. Great to see you on the show today. And Tracy Marie Huia, I love this. This is very sweet. She said, Monique, honey, you're worth more than your personality and your voice. You are worth your weight in gold. Your mana is priceless. Just saying. You are too sweet, Tracy. Now I've got to turn that mana into money. I'm joking, but think it's really kind. And there's a whole bunch of other comments that we're going to go through really shortly. But in the meantime, if there's one parting thought or fleeting message that you could leave our viewers with, what do you really want them to know? What action do you want them to take right now?
I want people to stop, think, and realise that things happen totally out of left field, that what you plan today doesn't necessarily mean what's going to happen tomorrow. And to just, I mean, I don't like to preach doom and gloom because, you know, we all...
There's enough of it in the news.
Well, there is. And we have we all have wonderful lives.
Yes.
However, it is important to just consider those things and to say to yourself, what if? And I can answer the what if.
Oh, you're leaving us hanging. It's like the end of Friends or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a big cliffhanger. Now, if you do want an answer to what if you want the details, you can actually head to Katie's website. Her website is vitalsure.co.nz. And when you go to that website, you can actually find out some information on the top things you should be asking your insurance broker. Do they even know what a money-making machine is? Let's be honest, not everybody does. It's a new concept for me today. And I'd love for her to be able to answer that question for you. All you need to do to get that free download is enter your name and your email address and subscribe to her mailing list, and that will be sent directly to you. So you can get some questions answered and start that conversation. Now, also, too, I have some really big thank yous to say. We've got heaps of questions in the newsfeed that I'm going to answer really, really quickly. But first of all, I want to hear from you. And here's the thing, I want you to be part of the show as much as you're here sitting and watching. So to be part of the show, all you need to do is send me a question. What's a real struggle for you? Do you struggle to find the perfect jeans? Or maybe are you really challenged with getting your kids to eat veggies? Well, you know, when it comes to taming the fro, you should have seen me this morning. I've run the straighteners through my hair. I've got some tips to share. And if you want to know more, I've got access to amazing experts like the two you've seen in the studio today. today, whether it comes to health, food, fitness, lifestyle, maybe you want to feel a little bit happier. I will find the right people to answer your questions. And also, if you want to feature on the show, look, we've got space to feature your product or brand. Remember, this show is all about food, living and lifestyle. All you need to do is send me an email, info@yourfix.tv, and we are happy to turn you into a star. That's the way it works. Now, finally, I'm just going to hit the newsfeed. First of all, ladies, thank you so much for coming on today's show. It has been a real health focus and looking after your wellness today. And I think it's been a really great educational. But some questions have come in through the feed. Now, what people don't know about you is you're also a fully trained, qualified fitness instructor as well, is that right?
Yes.
And you're also an absolute foodie, and you live a low-carb lifestyle as well.
I do.
So I'm going to throw these questions to the both of you as well. All right. So here we go. First of all, Ruthie CM Lily said, yum latte. Kaya Matayaha said, cool. Susan Powell, this is so informative. I didn't realise the varied benefits of turmeric. Loving this. Susan, thank you so much. Katie, you're an avid turmeric latte drinker.
You're telling all my secrets.
I am telling you secrets. Have you noticed, so you've gone from drinking tea all the time?
Yeah.
Because you're a tea drinker, you know, British and all, you know, it's a British thing. Have you noticed any changes in your wellness since drinking turmeric latte?
I really enjoy the turmeric lattes. I got hooked by a lady that I know, and I just find them quite calming. You know, sort of middle of the afternoon, it's like, I've got a stressful day, I've got all these deadlines still to meet, and turmeric latte, and it's like, okay, I can do this.
And I want to know, what is that calming effect?
And that's what I was talking about, the anti-inflammatory effect. It's not just on our tissues, it's on our, you know, going right through the blood-brain barrier. Wow. So it's actually calming and soothing our neurotransmitters as well.
Oh, I like that. So I had one yesterday afternoon when I was testing the recipe, and then I was zen for the rest of the afternoon. And if you know me well, you know I'm pretty much amped all the time, so it was quite weird for me. It was lovely. Nice to have some time out. Another message, Abby Leaf said, hey girls and Pete. Pete is our producer today. He's behind the camera. Tracy Marie said, kia ora ladies. Deanna from our Venus Network group in Takapuna said, hi girls. Tracy Waterman said, looking great, Monique. Tracy, thanks for popping into our Monday night show with Health Bites. It was awesome to have you be part of the conversation. Rachel Thompson said, hi ladies, you so need to convince me on turmeric lattes since I am not a milky hot drink or coffee drinker. Well, next time you come to the studio, game on, my lovely lady friend.
It actually is nice, and I'm the same. I went to Starbucks or somewhere like that for a chai latte for about 3 years, and I tried to ask for it, and I kept asking for a flat white. So I'm quite reluctant, and I have enjoyed that.
That's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. Excellent, nice. Joanna Jensen said, hi ladies, can you please put the recipe in the comments? Yes, I will share the recipe link on there, and also I'll share the details of how you can contact both Lynette and Katie if you want to chat with them more about the topics we've covered today. Tracy Marie said, our beautiful and inspiring Helen Thompson Carter. Amazing. Oh, there's the website actually for the turmeric latte and my guilt-free chocolate that you can eat for breakfast, moniquebradley.co.nz. Thanks for bringing that up, Pete. Jason Whitford, who's watching from Blenheim, lovely to see you, my friend. Debbie Curtis said, I take turmeric every day. Debbie, I'd love to know what form you take it in. It is so good. My auntie down in Blenheim, Auntie Sandra, shout out to you, love you. I know I'm your favourite. She actually started adding, so she had some problems with her feet, and I believe she may have had some early signs of arthritis. And I said to her, Auntie, I was reading about this stuff with turmeric. This was about a year ago. I know you make smoothies every day. Why don't you put some turmeric in there? Is that something that's a good option for smoothies as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think that I often talk to my patients, and they're like, you know, what can I take? What pill can I take? But it's like if we actually take some of the inflammatory foods out of our diet and our lifestyle, so the things that we know bloat us or make us tired, and we put some anti-inflammatory foods into our diet, it's like we're just taking care of ourselves every day. We're not waiting for dis-ease or dysfunction or, you know, problems to happen. So there's you know, such a lovely safe spice to pop in our cooking. You can even put it in you know, you put your you do your veggies, you put a bit of beautiful olive or avocado oil over the top of it, sprinkle some of those spices into that. Just delicious, really good for you.
Yeah. And from a fitness perspective, and also from the health insurance perspective, fitness, you know, does it help, do spices actually help performance in the fitness arena?
That's a very odd question to ask me.
Oh no, because I'm thinking, I know, I feel quite amped when I have lots of ginger.
I haven't actually considered that. I mean, I know that I use curcumin myself daily as an anti-inflammatory. And that helps with me with recovery from aches and pains from the workouts that I'm doing, especially in the legs that sometimes just want to give up on me. So some of those things I'm sure probably make a difference, but I think Lynette would be better to ask that. It's actually not something I've considered very much.
Yeah, I just know that this morning I was cold and I've had a little bit of turmeric latte and now I feel like I'm on fire.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
But anything that's going to encourage blood circulation, so, pepper, as you were saying, ginger, turmeric, anything that's going to get things moving, anything that's going to bring down inflammation is going to make our bodies function better. So everything's going to improve our energy, our digestion, our cholesterol, our mood. And so, of course, it's going to help with, being an athlete or recovery. This, you still need lots of water too. Always have water.
Yes.
But, it's got to help, doesn't it? Just feeling better helps.
Yes.
And also from your perspective, from the insurance perspective, I know that people can be penalised and have to pay higher fees if they smoke and if they drink. Are they then positively penalised? What's the opposite of penalised? Are they rewarded? Do they benefit if they have a healthy lifestyle?
There is the possibility with one company, at least that I can think of, where in actual fact I think it's two now, who do take into consideration and give you some benefits from healthy lifestyle, things that you do.
Love it.
Yay, proactive.
I'm so pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it includes things like, do you go to the gym? What's your diet like? How much alcohol do you drink? Do you smoke? It includes all of those things. So, and are you somebody who goes to a physiotherapist or a chiropractor or an osteopath or any of those kind of people on a regular basis? So all those things come into the equation.
Love it. That's so good to hear. Now, Tracy Marie quoted during your segment actually on insurance, quoting a song, "If Tomorrow Never Comes." Whoa. But yeah, I know what you mean.
One of the best things I believe I ever did for my health was have insurance.
There you go.
And
drinking turmeric latte.
Well, I wasn't doing that then. So, I had insurance and I got my cancer diagnosis, and it gave me options and it gave me some breathing space. And I was able to actually, go into the whole sort of panic and trauma situation and have my income provided for. It was just one less thing to worry about. So I actually really encourage people to have really good insurance, and a lot of the insurance companies have got full insurance, so you can go to a dentist and you can go to a naturopath if they're registered, and a chiropractor, and all these people are there to help you be as well as possible. So you've got that financial health, and you've got insurance health, and you've got physical health, and they're all very important.
Oh, that's so good to hear. It's
help
really
you sleep at night.
I'm quite a big advocate as well for health insurance. Interestingly, I heard on the radio this morning when I was driving into the city, somebody has mooted the idea that we should all have our employers provide health insurance. I think that is a really commendable plan and idea, because today there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and we all know there's waiting lists, we all know that the DHBs have got limited budgets, etc. So by having your own health insurance in place, that you can be more proactive about your health. That's right. Exactly what you were saying, by using all of these additional practitioners to boost up your health and to make sure that you're sort of looking after yourself. So I think it's really important for people to consider. Saying that, not everybody can actually afford it, but it's if you are somebody that can afford it, it's really worthwhile looking into the kind of health insurances that are available and what they can provide for you.
Love it. Great focus on health today. I love this. Rachel Thompson said great info, Katie, referencing income and risk plans as well. So she said great information. Hello, Lorraine Jacobs, Pauline Stockhausen, Bobby Joe White, Cecilia King. Lovely to have you all on the stream today. If you do want to know more, look, send me a message. And I'm happy to connect you with both of these amazing ladies. You can also find them on their individual websites. So myremedy.co.nz is Lynette's website, or you can even find her on Facebook, Lynette Hill Naturopath. And Katie's website, as you've seen in today's show, is vitalsure.co.nz, or you can follow her Facebook page as well, which is under Vital Sure as well, Vital Sure Limited.
Yeah.
Excellent. Look, thank you all for being part of the show. We love having you here. Finally, Miranda Sophie said turmeric can be good for animals as well.
Oh, yes.
I've learnt everything today.
Miranda is a chiropractor and she works with our four-legged and our two-legged
Love
patients.
it. We love that. All right, team. Well, it is time to go. I've been told that our 30-minute show has turned into a 50-minute show, but it's been such a great chat with you both. Thanks for coming into the studio. I really appreciate both of your wisdom. Thanks also to Helen Thompson-Carter for her input into today's show. Thanks to Pete behind the camera for being our producer. And thanks to all the people who support our show. Let's take a look at who they are. Hopefully, we don't have the screen. That's my bad management. Thanks to the lovely Jan, the merino wrap lady who supplies all my beautiful chiffon garments. To the lovely people from Fabuleux Vu, we love you for the wonderful jewellery. To Romina from Argentina for looking after my skin. To Kathy Organics for the amazing skincare. And to Evelyn Rose Lashes for my pretty peepers. I love you guys and thank you for being part of the show as well. It is time for us to go. I'll share in the newsfeed all the relevant links you need to keep connected to our wonderful guests and to our sponsors as well. Time to go. Remember, as I always like to say, be careful out there. 98% of people are caused by accident. There you go. All right, time to go. Ka kite anō e noho rā. See you next week. Wednesdays, 11 a.m.